In what has certainly been an eventful year, we are rapidly approaching the tail end. Yeah, we are already coming to the end of spooky month October, and soon it will be November. Soon, we will be celebrating my birthday. Yup, note it down folks, my birthday is on the 30th of November. Let's have an online party, Discord call, pizza— Wait, slow down birthday boy. Aren't you forgetting something? I don't think so. I mean, the PlayStation 5 comes out in November with the new Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty— No, listen, what are you? You're a Zeldatuber. Oh, right, I remember now. Let me try again. Yeah, we're already coming to the end of spooky month October, and soon it will be November. Soon, we will be playing the prequel to Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Did I get it that time? Yep, you did good. Yes! It still feels a bit unreal to me that we are less than 1 month away from a brand new Zelda game. Granted, it is a spin-off, but a bloody awesome looking one at that. With the hype train truly riding the rails now, I thought I'd put together a little list of 5 hopes of mine for this game. Not demands or expectations, just some things I'd personally hope to see within the game, so keep in mind that these are just my thoughts. Be sure to grab yourself a mouth-watering snack or drink and send them in on social media to get featured right here, and let's take a look at my 5 hopes for Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Opening up this book of hopes, let's turn the page. In this shocking surprise prequel, something I would love to see is stories that we are told 100 years after the Calamity, during the events of Breath of the Wild. In the present day as we know it, the world is nothing but a decaying land with a rich history, but every now and then we run into a traveller, merchant, or even someone from 100 years ago, and often these characters have a tale to tell. Stories and rumours from before the Calamity, information and events that we never get to see but are told about in game. I want to see some of these tales be played out in Age of Calamity. I know the game is primarily going to be hacking / combat focused, as warrior games are, but this particular Warriors game seems to be taking a slightly different path, with it being connected to a canon game, following a canon story, and having more focus on cutscenes, story and lore than your standard Warriors game. Obviously, it wouldn't be the same amount as your everyday Zelda game, but it's looking to have a lot. A great example of one of these stories I'd like to see be played out is the story of the Zora King absolutely tanking a guardian out of Zora's domain. The tale goes as follows. Around 100 years after King Dorephan ascended to the throne, a stray guardian crossed upland Zorana into our domain. The guardian seemed unstoppable. Our best soldier's spears barely left a scratch on his metal hull. It was then that our King Dorephan, without a thought for his own safety, came out to face the Guardian himself. With supernatural strength, he lifted the Guardian and hurled it into a ravine. The impact of the fall left the Guardian in pieces, and it was never to trouble another Zora ever again. The citizens celebrated the King's valor. From then on, their trust and respect for him grew beyond compare. You can still see the scar he earned that day on his forehead, a token of his triumph. That is something I'd love to see play out in Age of Calamity, and I'd say it's very possible as the game will be taking place across all of Hyrule. Maybe during a level or a task at or around Zora's domain we will get to see this take place. I can dream. It's not just that specific story either. We hear tales of what life was like and what people did 100 years ago before the Calamity, and even just seeing some of those come to life would be really amazing. Moving on to a more heartfelt and or heartbreaking hope. I'm hoping that we get to see Link's family. We know thanks to both the Japanese version of Creating a Champion, Masterworks, and an in-game cutscene, that Link did indeed have a family before the Great Calamity. We see in this artwork from Masterworks a picture of Link with who is presumably his sister and father, with his father even matching the in-game cutscene's description of him. We don't know anything about his mother, so I think she may have unfortunately passed away when Link was at a young age. I recently made a theory about if this was Link's home, and whilst I might have been wrong due to some new information that came out via all of the Age of Calamity showcasing, Link was indeed from Hiteno, meaning he likely lived here with his father and sister before taking up the role as Princess Zelda's personal knight. Assuming the game gives us a little backstory, which I think it will, I'd love for us to see a cutscene or two of Link with his family. Even just seeing them at home, chilling out, maxing, relaxing all cool, would be great. This game clearly has an emphasis on teaching us the events and also life before the Great Calamity. A range of before the Calamity actually struck and the heat of the attack. It may be a hopeful, well, hope, but one that I'd love to see. While Stage of Calamity is an extremely exciting prospect to play, we can't forget that we are also getting a sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's been a bit overshadowed in the Age of Calamity hype train, and understandably so, but keep in mind that it's still coming. With that, I'm hoping that we get to see some sort of small, minor tease towards Breath of the Wild 2 within Age of Calamity. There are a few different ways they could go about this. My initial thought would be to add an Easter egg in the game credits, or somewhere around there. Perhaps adding in that heartbeat we heard at the beginning of the sequel's reveal trailer, accompanied with the green text. It wouldn't be much, but you know for a fact it would send us hardcore Zelda nerds into an excitement frenzy. Though, I did also have the thought of getting a glimpse or hint towards the whereabouts of Ganondorf. We saw in the sequel's reveal trailer that the Gerudo King is currently in a solid state below the ground, in an unknown location. I'm not quite sure how it would be done, but maybe just getting told by one of the game's key figures, such as the King of Hyrule or Princess Zelda, that something worrying or suspicious lays below the ground. Not directly mentioning it, but making a subtle hint towards what is likely going to be a huge part of the sequel's story. This one is the most unlikely hope in my opinion, but, you know, I'm just hoping. The Kingdom of Hyrule before the Calamity was definitely different to what we know the kingdom as in the present day. It was a land full of life and relationships between people, and cutting right to the chase, a relationship I would like to see more of is the one between Mipha and Link. Now hold on Z-Linkers, I am not saying I want to see the love and romance between the two. We don't actually know how strong that department of the relationship was, but we do know that Mipha had strong feelings towards Link, and what I want to see is more on that. More information and depth towards what the pair got up to in their earlier days, their childhood friendship. This would likely have to be via some sort of flashback or memory, as we know they were at their closest before Link became Princess Zelda's personal knight. Link and Mipha spent a lot of time together. They were the best of friends, in fact. That is what I would like to learn more about. I can't say too much more as we don't know too much more. But it would also be interesting to see how Link actually felt towards Mipha. Did he love her too? We know Mipha was prepared to give Link the Zora armor, a tradition in which the Zora gives the one they love this traditional Zora apparel, essentially a form of proposal. If Mipha was prepared to do this, surely she was certain Link liked her back. Otherwise, why would she do that? I mean, the term love doesn't necessarily mean romantically, but it is implied in this situation. Anything of that, I'd really hope to see. Now for something more brutal. The attack on the Akala Citadel. We know that this mighty fortress located in the northeast of Hyrule was once the main settlement dedicated to army defense. An impregnable tower of force with cannons facing every direction, a tall summit, a colossal entrance bridge, a large courtyard, and, my interest, a deep inside. We never get to explore the insides of the Citadel, but we can assume it has a lot of depth to it. Building into the rock, it has been pierced within, and also building down. Given that it's a citadel, it was likely filled with weapons, armor, projectiles, and much more related to the Hylian army. Whilst in the modern day of Breath of the Wild we have no entrance, 100 years ago, this grand entrance would not be choked in rubble. With that, I am hoping that we get to explore the inside of the Akala Citadel in Age of Calamity. We know for a fact that we will play out a level or two by the Citadel, as seen in one of the trailers for Age of Calamity. It appears we may be playing as the Rook, but this also could just be around the Citadel. In the Champions Unite trailer for the game, we see the Akala Citadel burning ablaze, under attack by guardians and presumably monsters as well. I think it would be so cool if during this stage of the Citadel's lifespan, we get to venture inside, perhaps to rescue anyone trapped or injured, wipe out monsters, or maybe if we are lucky, get to man the cannons on the higher levels to defend the Citadel. Whatever it may be, I just hope we get to go inside and have a look around at what once was the Kingdom of Hyrule's greatest defense points. Thanks a ton for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to drop a like to support the channel and consider subscribing for more Zelda content. What are some of your hopes for Age of Calamity? I'm really interested to hear them, as I'm so freaking hyped for this game. Leave a comment down below with what you're hoping to see, and look out for my reply. A special and heartfelt thank you goes out to all of my wonderful supporters on both Patreon and YouTube. Your generous support allows me to work full time here on YouTube and produce these videos week in, week out to the best of my ability. If you'd like to help support what I do here on YouTube and get yourself some goodies like your name at the end of every video, a shout out upon joining and more, then consider supporting me on either Patreon or YouTube. Again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Game.